And it starts on that with the Ashwaubenon offense. Brad Alexson, the quarterback that was a linebacker a year ago.
Yeah, Brad Alexson is who this offense runs around, and he's got 10 touchdowns this year. He's very steady, and he'll take a hit if he needs to as well.
Impressive backfield with Warzen, Aaron Kelly back there. Jed O'Connell, Aaron Check, and Matt Wassenberg are your pass catchers tonight. Taking a look on the left side, Lehman and Kelsey with Olson and Boltman. Starting on the right side, Nate Peterson anchors the offensive line. He's the starting center tonight. Taking a look at on the defensive side of the football, Jeff Steinhorst is one safety. Tim Nelson is the strong safety. Nate Ness might be the fastest guy on the team. He's one starting quarter with Kevin Green. Ryan DeRocher, Steve Shields, they call them sheet metal. These are the two starting linebackers with Lehman, Kelsey, Mastriacola, Schultz, and Olson, the starting guys up front on the defensive unit. Taking a look at the De Pere Redbirds on offense, and Bobby Folds, Matt Thompson, has gotten better as the season's progressed.
Well, he's a junior, and he's still getting healthy really to this point. He had ACL surgery early on this year in February, and it's still, I shouldn't say affecting him, but he's still trying to get over that at this point.
Bill Nowak leads the conference in rushing. Eddie Powles is the 1-2 punch part of that. Jacob Houston, the wingback. Andy Feller, Mike Rabus are the two pass catchers. Brian Coral, Eric Kiley, Mark Callahan, Justin Payette, and Patrick Snyder anchor the offensive line for the De Pere Redbirds. Taking a look at the defensive side of the football for De Pere, Eddie Powles is the safety with Schweitz and Spaeth, the two starting corners. It's a four-linebacker set with Bill Nowak, Matt Kolb, Eric Kiley, Jacob Houston for the De Pere Redbirds, and the guys anchoring the defensive line, Justin Payette, Peter Meyer, Josh Westphal, and Andy Bauman. We're going to step aside. When we return, we're going to get ready to kick off the final Hardee's High School Football Showdown of the year. 2 7-1 teams. The Bay Conference title is on the line.
Let's say you're nearsighted, but you hate the way you look in glasses. What do? You wear contact lenses. I had a bigger problem. My whole head was nearsighted. I started losing my hair at 18. I didn't like the way I looked. But then I heard about THR, transdermal hair restoration. It's a real breakthrough in non-surgical hair replacement. Now, I'm not even going to tell you how it works. I just want you to look at my hair. Even close up, it looks like it's growing out of my scalp. I'm not going to show you scenes of me water skiing or tell you that you get a promotion or a date with a supermodel. What I will tell you is that this makes me feel great about the way I look. Now, if you want to improve the way you look, call this number now for more information. When you get your hair back, I'll bet you feel great about the way you look too. After that, the promotion and the supermodel, that'll be up to you.
Okay, kids. Mom, we have our phone. We can check in. Okay.
Introducing the Family Share Plan from Verizon Wireless. Now your family can share a ton of minutes on one calling plan.
Hey, Mom, Crimson or Candy Apple Red?
With up to 4 separate lines.
Is 20 feet enough?
Hurry in and buy one Nokia phone for $29.99 and get up to 3 free with activation.
Honey, do we need an extra hand?
And now get an extra 3,000 night and weekend minutes to share. Just call 1-800-2JOIN-IN today. Now that's something the whole family can get excited about. Verizon Wireless. Join in.
Remember how you loved going to the local diner with your parents for an authentic French dip sandwich? No, you avoided going out with your parents. You were embarrassed by their matching sweatsuits. You must be thinking of Hardee's new authentic French dip sandwich. Roast beef carved to order, covered with Swiss cheese and piled high on a freshly baked roll. Perfect for dipping in our famous au jus sauce. Might want to take Mom and Dad to the drive-thru. Try Hardee's new French dip sandwich. Hardee's, the way food ought to be.
This is the UPN 32 Hardee's High School Football Showdown, brought to you in part by Gussman Chevrolet, Keith's Hair Center, Green Bay Home Medical, SI Metals and Supply, Bayland Telephone, your Packerland Ford dealers, Outlook Group, the Fox Cities newspapers, and your local Pizza Hut restaurants. Now it's time for the showdown.
Welcome to Dad Frazier Field here on the campus of De Pere High School, the site of tonight's Hardee's High School Football Showdown. The De Pere Redbirds hosting the Ashwaubenon Jaguars in the Bay Conference Showdown. The winner at least to share the Bay Conference Championship. Good evening, everyone. Alongside Matt Thompson, I'm Chris Riva. Matt, two teams with the same record, 7-1 on the season, both losing to Bayport. How do you see this game shaping up?
Well, at this point, I think we can all say we expected this to happen. I mean, these are two great football teams. As you mentioned, 7-1 records. Both teams losing to Bayport at this point. early in the year, just a couple of weeks ago for Ashwaubenon. So this is going to be a heck of a matchup. The winner will at least share the conference title in the Bay Conference.
If this game comes down to a coaching duel, if you will, it might perhaps be the ultimate chess match. Ken Golomsky of Ashwaubenon and Greg Rabus of De Pere.
Well, Ken Golomsky's been around a long time. He's kind of the general in the Bay Conference, if you can say that. In De Pere for Greg Rabus, he is kind of the new kid on the block. You can't say that anymore. He's been around for a few years. He's got De Pere back where they should be.
Game time forecast here at Dad Frazier Field in De Pere, 52 degrees, but it is breezy. 15 to 25 mile per hour winds coming from the north. The outlook for the game, mostly cloudy tonight. There is a 15% chance of showers. De Pere wearing the red uniforms with the red helmet, white trim, red jersey, white trim, red pants, white trim, white socks. Ashwaubenon gold helmets with the paw print, white jerseys with green trim, gold breeches, and green socks. De Pere set to kick off. That's Eli Savoy booting it away to the Jaguars here as they are going to get the football first. Sails with the help of the wind to the back of the end zone, and it's going to be a touchback, 1st and 10 on the 20. So taking a look at the starting offensive unit for the Ashwaubenon Jaguars. They're an impressive group in the backfield. Brad Alexjohn is your starting quarterback with Grayson Warzen, Aaron Kelly, your 1-2 punch at the fullback running back position. Judd O'Connell, Aaron Check, Matt Wassenberg, the pass catchers for this football team with Greg Lehman, Matt Olson anchoring down on the left side. Nate Peterson is the center. Brad Boltman and Brandon Mays are on the right side. So, Matt, there's a couple of injury shuffles, if you will, for this offensive line for Ashwaubenon, so it should be interesting to see how this plays out early tonight. 1st and 10 with the ball on the 20-yard line for the Ashwaubenon Jaguars. We're just underway here at the 7:30 start. Aaron Kelly's going to get the call, and he's going to get outside and pick up maybe 7 yards on 1st down. So taking a look at the defensive starters for the De Pere Redbirds. And this is an impressive group. Quite frankly, this group might be the most underrated in the Bay Conference with Powles, Nick Schweitz, Nick Space at the cornerback positions. It's a 4-linebacker set with Billy Nowak, Matt Kolb, Eric Kiley, and Jacob Houston. The guys anchoring the defensive line, Justin Payette, Peter Meyer, Josh Westfall, and Andy Bauman. So after the Kelly run on 1st down, it is 2nd down and 2 with the football just shy of the 30-yard line. On 2nd down, Grayson Warzen gets it. He's got room up the middle. Breaks off a couple of tackles, and he's finally wrapped up by number 72, Justin Payette, but not after 1st down yardage.
Well, that's big for Ashwaubenon to be able to come out here and run the football right off the bat, back-to-back runs, and able to get the 1st down.
Warzen picks up 12 on the 2nd down carry, and it's 1st and 10. Ashwaubenon Jags with the ball on the 45-yard line. Two 7-1 teams facing off tonight. Alexjohn to the air, swings it out for Judd O'Connell. He hauls it in at about midfield, and he is wrapped up immediately right there by Nick Schweitz.
Well, now they come out and throw the football, and Alexjohn can do it, and you can see Ashwaubenon is very potent offensively, and they're only lost this year to Bayport. They still scored 38 points. They should have scored more, but their special teams, in a sense, failed them.
Judd O'Connell, the 2nd leading receiver in the Bay Conference, 18 receptions on the year for 455 yards. He has 7 touchdowns. We're going to see the leaders in the Bay Conference in just about every category tonight between these two teams. So on 2nd down and 5 from the 50, Kelly's going to get it, pitch out. Kelly fumbles it as he picked up 1st down yardage, but it's recovered by the Jags, and it's going to be shy of a 1st down. So he had the 1st down after the run, but the fumble forces it to be a 3rd down situation.
Well, that could be a big play in De Pere's favor, because Kelly, a guy with 4.5 speed, as you check it out again, loses the football as he gets hit for the 1st time. Luckily for Ashwaubenon, they're able to recoup it for a 3rd and 1. Very short.
Eddie Powell forced the fumble on the play. Unfortunately, the De Pere Redbirds could not pick it up. So it's 3rd down and 1 with the ball on the 46-yard line for the Jags. And Alexjohn to the air. Firing downfield for O'Connell, who picks it up, slips to the turf, and is wrestled out of bounds by number 10, Bill Nowak. 1st down, Jaguars.
Well, we talked about Aaron Kelly with 4.5 speed. Judd O'Connell with 4.5 speed as well, and he's a big target.
18 yards on the play as we take a 2nd look. And, you know, you talk about Alexjohn. He's the 2nd leading passer in the Bay Conference to Jason Birkin. Coming into this game tonight, he was 50 for 96 for 972 yards. He had 10 touchdowns with 5 INTs. So 1st and 10 with the football just shy of the 35-yard line, and it's going to be Grayson Warzen on 1st down. Bill Nowak in on the stop along with Jake Houston.
And Grayson Warzen, earlier this year, Ken Golomsky told us that he is the surprise of the year. He's done a great job. He's second on the team in rushing. Grayson Warzen with 5.54 coming into the football game, just behind Aaron Kelly, who had 5.84. So he's a good young man to have in that backfield along with Aaron Kelly.
From the fullback position with the ball on the 32, Warzen actually is the 5th leading rusher in the Bay Conference this year. Long count for the Jags. Kelly gets it. Weaves his way for a couple of yards as he crosses the 30-yard line to about the 28. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 6.
Well, for De Pere defensively, they're going to do everything they can to stop Ashwaubenon. As you mentioned, last year's football game was very similar to this one. Conference title implications on the line, and De Pere was basically hurt here by Ashwaubenon last year. And if Ashwaubenon can put it in the end zone and give themselves confidence once again, the favor for them and on the downside for De Pere. So De Pere's really hoping they can stop the Jags.
Matt, when we talked to Coach Greg Rabus, I said, is the Jags the hump that De Pere needs to hop over? They haven't beat them in several years. And last year's game was, as we have penalty flags, was a game really where Ashwaubenon took it to them.
Yeah, and it's a game that they remember. They absolutely remember. But, you know, as Coach Rabus has said many times, and you said it during the pregame, Chris, that he is so calm, so relaxed, and you know what, you find that in his players as well, as we get a false start against Ashwaubenon to back them up here on 3rd down. But they are so calm and ready to play this football game. They don't treat it as just another game, but yet they sure act like it with how calm they are.
Lindy DeNamer is our referee for tonight. He'll be making all the calls after they drop the yellow flags. Most of the crew tonight from Manitowoc and Two Rivers. So it's 3rd down and 9 now for the Jags. And they're going back to the air. Alexton rolls out, fires, and has his tight end, Aaron Check, but it's going to be shy of a 1st down.
And I don't think there's much choice here for Golomsky. He's going to go for it. Coach Golomsky has so much faith in this offense, and with the field position just outside the 25, looks like the 26-yard line. Take a second look at it. Aaron Check, gets bumped out of bounds. They're going for it here on 4th.
8 yards for Check after the reception. He has 13 receptions on the year now for 252 yards. Has caught a couple touchdown passes. So as you mentioned, Matt, 4th down, and here come the Jags. Kelly has the play strung out to the outside. Is he close? Indeed, he might have the 1st down.
Yeah, he got it. Kelly did a good job of getting outside. It's a scary run to head outside when you've got just a 4th and short like they do, because if De Pere can string them out, they'll get the ball back. But Kelly does a nice job of just booking to the outside, getting into the open field, and just heading up when he needed to.
Well, if he needed 4, he got 4.5. He now has 4 carries for 20 yards on the night. This is the opening drive for the Jags, and they are marching it down with their 3rd 1st down on the night. Moving the change, and that is the game plan the Jags wanted. They wanted to keep their offense on the field and drive the football. Chew up clock. On 1st down, inside handoff to Warzen, and very little running room. He's wrapped up immediately by the Redbird defense.
Well, it's an offensive line that's more of a finesse style for Ashwaubenon. They're not a real power and type run offense. They really rely on their running backs a lot to find the holes in the open space and get out there and create for themselves. But it's an offensive line that has improved throughout the year. Talk about the 1,850 yards in conference that De Pere has coming into this football game. Ashwaubenon 1,666. No slouches themselves running the football.
Warzen did not actually pick up a yard on the last carry, so it's 2nd down and 10 for the Jags. Alsham back to the air. Firing downfield, and a tremendous defensive play by the Redbirds to bat the ball to the turf.
Looked like Nick Schweitz.
Nick Schweitz was in on the coverage.
Came in on the play, and it was perfect timing because the play was wide open. It might have even gone for a touchdown if Schweitz wasn't able to come in on O'Connell. As you see, O'Connell had great position, but Schweitz comes in at the last second to knock it away.
And Eddie Powell's also with a big hit. So the football's still on the 23-yard line, 3rd down and 10 for the Jags.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting play for Ashwaubenon. As we mentioned, they are a darn good running football team, but also one of the best in the Bay Conference at throwing the football.
I keep wanting to call Brad Alishton Peanut Butter because that's his nickname. It's going to be a reverse. O'Connell. Shifty move, but he's still got a lot of real estate to pick up before a 1st down. And finally, the Fear Redbirds wrap him down for a loss of about 7 yards.
Well, that's a very big play for the De Pere Redbird defense because at this point, the Ashwaubenon and De Pere, for that matter, special teams have given them a lot of trouble. So at this point, either you punt it and try to pin it back, as we'll take a second look at the reverse try here. I thought for a second that he was going to try to throw the football.
Andy Ballman right there stayed home and forced Judd O'Connell way to the outside before Jake Houston can wrap him up for the 7-yard loss. So the football's on the 30-yard line, and it's going to be 4th down in about a mile for the Jags on offense. Play action. Alex Shin firing downfield for Aaron Check. Caught it. Touchdown. 30-yard touchdown pass, and the Jaguars have 6 points.
What a huge play on 4th and long. I mean, they came up with whatever they had in their basket and threw it on down. It's like a Christmas present here early for the Ashwaubenon Jaguars as they had 4th and long and convert for 6.
Here's another look at it. Matt, how much of a backbreaker is it? You have them 4th and long, and they fire a 30-yard touchdown strike.
Well, it's very much a backbreaker for De Pere, but, you know, they did a pretty good job of holding them up until that 4th down play. Unfortunately for De Pere, Ashwaubenon converts.
Mitch Decker on to attempt the extra point. It is up and good. 7-0's our score. We're going to take a timeout. De Pere will have the football when we return on the Hardee's High School Football Showdown.
Looking for steel and aluminum? Look to SI Metals and Supply. Whether you're a buyer for your company or someone with a home project, we can provide you with large or small quantity service, cut to size convenience, and a huge selection. We even have the hard-to-find items, like expanded metal, round and square tube, bucket edge, door guard posts, aluminum diamond plate, and colored aluminum sheets. A simple call, we'll have your order ready for pickup or delivery. SI Metals on Highway 41 between De Pere and Kaukauna, also in Briarton.
This is your way to keep America rolling. Broadway Automotive announces special used car financing as low as 3.3%. Low-cost car loans. 3.3% APR to every qualified buyer on GM, Ford, Chrysler, and import vehicles. Keep America rolling. Get a 3.3% used vehicle loan at Green Bay and Pulaski's Broadway Automotive.
Welcome back. The Ashwaubenon faithful, a lot to cheer about. Opening drive results in a touchdown. Mitch Decker boots it away. It's a really short kick as De Pere has to sprint up and field it. Nick Spaeth is the man that had the tough task of hauling that little kick in.
Well, in high school football, he caught it with the knee down, so you're down at that point. In college or pros, you get up and run.
So here's a look at the offensive starters, I should say, for the De Pere Redbirds. Bob Folds, the junior quarterback, with Noah Powell and Houston, the fullback, halfback, and wingback. Andy Feller, Mike Rabus for the pass catchers with Coral, Kiley, Callahan, Payette, and Schneider, the guy starting up front for the Redbirds. The football's on the 25-yard line, and on 1st down, the Redbirds go to the ground, and that's what they do best, Matty. Chew up yardage right there, 7 yards for Billy Noah.
As we mentioned, 1,850 yards. I'm thinking of Ashwaubenon there. 1,850 yards coming in this football game, and they're going to continue on the ground. That's what they do best.
Here's a look at the Ashwaubenon defensive unit starting tonight with Steinhorst and Nelson, the starting safeties, with Ness, Green, the starting corners, DeRozier, Shields, the linebackers, with Lehman, Kelsey, Schultz, Mastriacola, and Olsen, the guys up front. So on 2nd down, back to the ground. Nowak's got big yardage right up the gut. Tough running right there for De Pere, 1st down.
There's no one in this league that De Pere cannot run against. And as you've seen there, they can do it up the middle. They can do it to the right, to the left. They run as good as anyone in the state.
Here's another look at it for Billy Nowak, 14 yards on that carry. And I tell you, Matt, though, it's a football team that I know Coach Rabus says we're passing the football better, but their bread and butter is running the football.
Absolutely. Billy Nowak, 919 yards on the year coming into this football game.
So on 1st and 10, Nowak gets his 3rd straight call, and again finding huge room. Spinning his way, picks up 7 yards on that carry, and he's close to another 1st down, just shy.
And they're not going to do anything fancy. I mean, when they can throw the football, I should say when they do throw the football, they can. And it's one of the things that Coach Golomsky worries about is them commanding running game and then trying to throw the football down the field.
Nowak takes the ball across the 50 to the Ashwaubenon 45. It's 2nd down and 2. Credit Nowak with 8 yards on that 1st down. This time, Eddie Powell's the 2 of the 1-2 punch, and he picks up 2, maybe 3, I think. It certainly is 1st down yardage.
Well, Eddie Powell, as you mentioned, the 2nd of the 1-2 punch. 602 yards coming into this football game, and a 5.7 average on top of it, and you look at Billy Nowak's 6.0 average. I mean, how do you not get first downs consistently when you run the football as De Pere does? And they do.
So 1st and 10 with the ball on the 42. You know, Eddie Powell's had 100 yards in a showdown game early last year. Here's Nowak, this time on the left side. He picks up good yardage there on 1st down. They're taking it in chunks.
They do, and they continue to move the chains. This will be a 2nd and short once again, or about 2nd and 5, which is not too shabby at all. And these guys, as you mentioned, just so great at the 1-2 punch. They're both so tough, Powell's and Nowak. They really enjoy playing football as well.
4 carries for 35 yards for Bill Nowak. Coach Ravis says that this is a guy that just gets better as the game goes on. He also mentioned the bigger the game, the better he plays. A little inside handoff, again, 2, maybe 3 yards for the Redbirds on 2nd down.
You take a look, Chris, in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. You see we're down to 3:40 already here in the 1st quarter in what's left here in this 7-0 Ashwaubenon lead. Both of these teams have run the football early on. Of course, Ashwaubenon had the big strike for the touchdown through the air, but both of these teams are just great at running the football. This game could be done in about an hour and 20 minutes the way these two teams run.
Ball on the 35, 3rd down and about 3 for the De Pere Redbirds. They go back to the ground. Nowak's got 1st down yardage, makes a nice cutback. Breaks a couple of tackles, finally wrapped up by Nate Ness, and he is inside the 20-yard line. To the 17.
Billy Nowak is the quicker of the 2 runners between Nowak and Powell's, and he's the one who's going to chunk up the most yards, as he did there. Take a second look. The offensive line does a great job. What a great block right out in front by Mike Ravis, opening up the hole. Here's a wide receiver helping out his offensive line mates.
17 yards on that carry for Nowak. A big 3rd down conversion sets them up inside the red zone. This time, Eddie Powell's is going to get it. Short yardage there for Powell's. Chad Rapinski in on the stop. Also, Tim Nelson coming up from his strong safety position to get in on the tackle for the Ashwaubenon Jaguars. Picks up 1, so it'll be 2nd down and 9.
And Ashwaubenon, too. I mean, here they are in the situation now, trying to do what they can to stop this running game. When we asked Ken Golomsky before the game, how do you stop them? He goes, I don't know if we've learned how to yet.
So far, they have not had an answer here in the 1st half for this guy. Billy Nowak goes right side, picks up 3, maybe 4 yards as he dives inside the 15-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and about 5. Well, you know, you talk about that, Matty, nobody's really solved the answer for stopping De Pere thus far this season, and nobody's really had an answer for that guy right there, number 10.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic year. In the game earlier this year between De Pere and Marinette, he had over 200 yards rushing and just had a phenomenal day. We were able to interview him after the game. He said, you know what, it's not me, it's my offensive line, and I just have to credit everyone in front, and that's what you really want a good running back to say, but you know what, it's a lot of him too.
Coach Ravis said we'd see him in a lot of different formations. Nowak goes into the wing-back position, and he gets the football from there. Tries to shed a tackler. I believe his knee was down on 3rd down, so that's going to produce a 4th down at about 6 or 7 for the Redbirds, as it was a loss on that play of 3. Nowak does have 8 carries for 56 yards.
Yeah, we take a second look. You mentioned Nowak lining up in all the different positions. Trying to run across the field. Not able to get there. From this vantage point right here, it'd be about a 32-yard field goal, so they're going to go for it.
Like the Jaguars on their opening drive, the Redbirds are going for it on 4th down. Olds is going to keep it on an option pitch, gets it out to Nowak. He fumbles the football and just falls on it. The Redbirds cannot convert. We're going to take a timeout. It's 1st and 10 Jags when we return on the Hardee's High School Football Showdown.
It's the law at Cops Food Centers.
I think free groceries are wonderful.
It's the law at Cops.
Anytime I can get anything free, I'm here.
It's the law at Cops.
Shopping at Cops Food Center definitely has its rewards. Just check out the Cops Chronicle and see what you can get free just for shopping with us.
A little more incentive to come back and shop at Cops.
It's the law at Cops.
Buy more, save more.
Cops Food Centers.
On 1st down, Grayson Warzen rips off about 14 yards to pick up a 1st down as he gets close to midfield, just across the 43-yard line, I should say, and that is where the Jags will take over again, 1st and 10.
Well, we've got an update from Bayport. Bayport taking on Shawano, and Bayport leads that football game 14-0 in a game very critical to the success of these two football teams.
So 1st and 10 for the Jags. They're going back to the ground. Alexson pitches out to Kelly. Kelly, nice room right there. He picks up 7 yards.
As we mentioned, these two teams playing for a share of the conference title if Bayport wins. That's why the Bayport score is so intriguing to us here tonight. Another score of interest, Waupaca and Freedom for the conference title in the Valley 8. Freedom is 7-1, Waupaca 8-0. And that game is 19-3 Waupaca right now at Freedom. Waupaca has the lead.
So 2nd down and about 5 for the Jags. Ball's on their own 49-yard line. Oh, that's the end of the first quarter. Boy, did that creep up on us. But we're going to take a quick timeout. 7-0's our score. The Jags are on top.
Isn't life beautiful, even with its ups and downs? If you have medical equipment needs, it's nice to know that we're around. Get back in the game with a new attitude. You know our people really care. Green Bay Home Medical Equipment is there.
Beverly Hills.
If you want the best here, it'll cost you.
But the best pizza won't cost you. You can get a Pizza Hut pizza, the big New Yorker pizza, for just $8.99. Smothered with tons of luscious cheese and loaded with your favorite toppings.
Just $8.99.
Make it a supreme, a meat lovers, or any specialty pizza for 99 cents more. Oh, that's the deal. The big New Yorker, $8.99. Beautiful.
Make it a meal with breadsticks and Pepsi. Pizza Hut, the best pizzas under one roof.
Welcome back. The Ashwaubenon faithful that made the trip, what is it, a whole 3 miles, have had a lot to cheer about in the first quarter. Their team's on top. So the first play of the second quarter, 2nd down and 5 for the Jags. Inside handoff to Grayson Wars, and he is just shy. Matt, this, you know, I hate to call this card early on, but this reminds me so much of last year's game here at Dad Brazier Field, the end of the regular season for the Bay Conference a year ago when Jaguars moved into this stadium and took over. This is highlight footage from a year ago when they jumped out on top. They led 14-0 at the half, but they came right out in the second half. Justin Russo had a long touchdown run. You see Chad Sloden, who has now graduated, had big touchdown play in that game and really just stunned the De Pere Redbirds. So on 3rd down, Brad Alexson's just going to keep it on the quarterback sneak. He picks up about 5 yards in 1st down yardage.
Well, Brad Alexson is one of those quarterbacks who likes to survey the field. He saw what he liked there and decided to keep her right up the middle. Brad Alexson doing a nice job with this offense.
In the first quarter, Ashwaubenon with a 109 yards of total offense to De Pere's 48. And, of course, Ashwaubenon capitalized with that 30-yard touchdown strike. So 1st and 10 for the Jags here in the second quarter of play. Alexson, delay handoff to Kelly. Kelly utilizing his speed, picking up 6 yards on the carry before he is wrapped up by Mike Rabus.
Now Brad Alexson on the year, 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions in conference play. He was 50 of 96 coming into the football game, obviously better than 50%, so he can do it through the air and on the ground as well.
So far tonight, Aaron Kelly, 6 carries for 32 yards. You know, I go back to that 30-yard touchdown strike, Matt. Greg Rebus said, you know, one of the things I don't think our defense gets plenty of credit for is how good our secondary was and had to be somewhat demoralizing to take that 30-yard touchdown strike so early on. So back to the air they go. The Jags firing over the middle, and this looks like Aaron Check wasn't ready for that football. It looked like it hit him in the numbers, and it scoots through his hand, and needless to say, it falls incomplete.
Yeah, it did. When you talk about De Pere's defense, too, they are the 2nd best defense behind Pulaski. You and I have seen Pulaski a lot this year on tape and have been very impressed with that football team and looking forward to seeing them in years to come, perhaps. But De Pere has done a great job on the defensive side of the football. All year long, they've kept themselves in ball games, but when you've got a running game like De Pere does, you don't need a lot of points to win, but against a team like Ashwaubenon, you certainly are going to have to score.
3rd and 4 with the ball on the 37 for the Jags. Back to the ground. Kelly going to be wrapped up shy of a 1st down, in on the stop. Nice, impressive defensive play right there. Mark Callahan makes the stop. along with Peter Meyer.
Well, with the ball right on the 35-yard line, it looks like about 2.5 yards to go for the first down. They've got a 4th and short. I think they'll go for it. That's what they've done in the past, especially in this position, but you never know. They may decide to punt it and play the game of field position, but knowing Coach G and the way that he has such confidence in this offense, as we mentioned, they're going for it again.
Actually, they're going to punt it away, Matt. You know what's the tricky thing about it I was going to mention is that the quarterback is their punter in Brad Alexchen. Actually, they see who's kicking its best in pregame warm-ups, and it looks like tonight Alexchen wins out. Boots it away. It's a high kick. It's not going to be fielded by the Redbirds into the end zone for a touchback. So when we return, it'll be 1st and 10 to Pere at the 20-yard line of the Hardee's High School Football Showdown.
GM's Keep America Rolling program features 0% financing on every new 2001 and 2002 car, truck, van, or SUV.
We've never seen anything like it before. 0% financing on every new Chevrolet, Pontiac, and Oldsmobile.
That means you can save hundreds, even thousands of dollars on your next car or truck. 0% financing offer includes all 2001 closeout models.
We've been saying it for over 70 years. You'll like our prices. You'll love our service. That's guaranteed.
Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go to Gusman.
On first down, Eddie Powles gets the carry. He picks up just a couple of yards. In on the stop, number 44, Chad Warpinski. And Chad Warpinski, Matt's not a guy that was at the Bayport game when we saw Ashwaubenon against Bayport a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, Chad Warpinski means a lot to that defense and what he can do. And on the other side of the defense, Pere did a great job of stopping Ashwaubenon, giving their offense the football back, confidence down by 7.
Warpinski suffered a knee injury earlier in the season. They thought it was a torn ACL, but it was not. Bobby Foltz goes to the air, intended for Andy Feller, but the ball hits the turf, but it's incomplete.
And on the positive side, Jason O'Hearn, who we saw go down a couple of weeks ago in the Bayport loss for Ashwaubenon, may be back next week for the playoffs on Tuesday.
Andy Feller's a guy that did not start when we saw this football team in week 2 of the regular season. And that was a position, the wide receiver position, that Coach Greg Rabus said, I really want somebody to step up, and it appears that Andy Feller's been that guy this year for Coach Rabus in the Redbird offense. So it's 3rd down and 8 from the 22. Little shuttle pass to Billy Nowak. Positive yardage, but he's not going to get a first down. In on the stop, Justin Rainier. So it's going to force a punting situation for the Redbirds.
Well, that was an interesting formation, and really they ran it pretty well for the most part. They just weren't able to get the yardage they were looking for. And Ashwaubenon comes up with a stop and probably pretty good field position.
Here's a second look at it. As we talked about, positive yardage, but just not enough. It's 4th down and 4 with Eli Savoy ready to punt it away. It's a low line drive kick. It's not going to be fielded as it's shanked out of bounds just shy of the 50-yard line. Ball on the 48, so it's going to be 47, I should say. So it's going to be 1st and 10 as the faithful look on.
These two teams are at the bottom of the Bay Conference in punting. Eli Savoy, just a 27.3 average for Pere, and Brad Alexchen, 33.1 yardage. When you look at the top, Nate Susick of Shawano, 38.5, but Nate Susick of Shawano obviously a lot more opportunities punting the football.
So 1st and 10 with the ball on the 47-yard line for Brad Alexchen and the Jaguar offense. He's going to the air on first down, looking downfield, firing, and knocked to the ground by Bill Nowak. Nice play in coverage.
Boy, Nowak on the running, Nowak on the pass defense. What a great job. He came in to knock that ball away at the last minute. Take a second look. Brad Alexchen puts this ball right where it needs to be. But Nowak is right where he needs to be on the defensive side. What a fantastic job in the defensive backfield.
The intended receiver was Matt Wassenberg, the big tight end for the Jags.
If they can stop this passing game and force Ashwaubenon to run with Aaron Kelly and Grayson Morrison, that could bode well for Pere in the long run.
Now here's a pitch to Kelly. On 2nd down, again, the play strung out, and Kelly finding little room. Big hit by Eddie Powles. In on the tackle also, number 22, Jake Houston.
You talk about teams that you have to stop their running game to attempt to win the football game. Ashwaubenon might be one of those teams that you have to stop the passing game as we take a second look at Kelly to get them to run the football because they are so effective through the air.
So far tonight, really, Pere's done a wonderful job in stringing out Kelly on those pitch outs.
Now, Kelly is much better running north to south than he is left to right, but he's good there too as well. You just prefer to see him run north-south.
So 3rd down and 7 for the Jags. Little swing pass out to O'Connell. Fumbles the football. Boy, does it go scooting down towards the 20-yard line, and it appears the Redbirds have recovered it. No official signal yet. Did he get it in bounds?
Yeah, that ball may have gone out of bounds. It would still be Ashwaubenon football.
Wow. And right there, Lindy Denamer, our referee, just signaled 1st and 10 with the ball on the 20-yard line, Jaguars. Here's Judd O'Connell, who gets the football stripped, and it was recovered out of bounds. So good call by the officiating crew here. 1st and 10, Jags. Huge break for them with the football on the 20. Option. Kelly breaks the tackle, gets outside. Penalty flags are down. Eddie Powell's in on the stop.
Well, you see the multiple offenses that Ashwaubenon likes to run. They can split out 2-3 wide. They can run the option. They can power football you right up the middle as we get a penalty against Ashwaubenon to back them up a little bit after having great field position. But once again, you see Brad Alexton, one of the toughest things to do in high school football is pitch the football. He does it as good as anyone.
Kelly has tremendous balance.
Stepping on the offense.
Broke one tackle. But there was an illegal block on that play and forcing the Jags way back to the, it's a clipping penalty, to the 38-yard line.
First and very long for Ashwaubenon on the Pierce 38-yard line.
Hear the announcer here, Dad Brazier Field, 1st and very long, and yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Very long. It was also 4th and very long, and they threw a strike. So right here, back to the air goes Alex Judd, and he misfires. If I'm not mistaken, that, after he started the night 4 for 5, he has now completed 1 of his last 4 passes.
Well, the Pierce defensive line is starting to get in the face of Brad Alexton and not allowing him time to sit back and throw the football. Alexton might have to start using his feet to scramble out of that pocket a little bit. Exactly falling into the Redbirds' hands if that's what he has to start doing.
Nice coverage by Matt Kolb for the Pier. Also Nick Schweitz in the secondary for the Redbirds. So 2nd down and a very long for the Jags. 28 is what we're officially calling it. I can't add that high. Alexton back to the air, and he's looking downfield. Again, that was Judd O'Connell. And again, solid coverage. This time in on the coverage, Nick Spaeth.
Well, I thought O'Connell was going to catch up to that ball for a second there. Spaeth was where he needed to be. As we take a second look, Alexton, he has the arm to get where you need to be.
There's some contact at the end of this play, but both players fighting for the football. Nice job by Nick Spaeth.
It looked like O'Connell was pushing off just a little bit underneath. Now take a second look. It's just great field position and a great job by Spaeth to be where he needs to be.
The defender certainly has his right to the territory, especially if he beats him to the spot, and that was exactly what Nick Spaeth did on that play. Nice job by Spaeth. So, on 3rd down, just a little screen pass to Kelly. Kelly, nice shake and bake move. Picks up a huge chunk of yardage before he's wrapped up, but he's still not back to the original line of scrimmage. Eddie Powell in on the stop.
Well, it takes him from about a 3rd and 28 to about a 3rd and 17 per hour, 4th and 17 if they so choose to go for it.
Nice move right there on Nowak. And Eddie Powell's he's come up and hit a couple guys early tonight, so he's been physical in this football game, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. 6:15 to go here in the 2nd quarter of play. Ashwaubenon on top, 7-0. They're going to go for it.
Here we see them set up 3 wide with a single back.
It's a 4-receiver set. Alex Judd under heavy pressure decides he's going to keep it. He picks up about 8 yards, but he's finally wrapped up by Nick Spaeth, and it's going to force a turnover on downs here. DePere's going to get the football. They're going to take over 1st and 10.
Oh, you're right, Chris. They did line up, looked like Matt Wassenberg in the slot there to turn it into a 4-wide receiver set. Not enough to get them the 1st down on this play, but once again, DePere's defense hold, get the football back because that drive started on the 20-yard line.
That's right, it did. Well, after the fumble. So nice job by the DePere defense, as you mentioned. So 1st and 10 now for the Redbirds with 5:51 to go here in the 1st quarter. Billy Nowak gets it. He's going to try to get to the outside, and he is wrestled to the ground by number 25, Craig Bomeyer.
And not only does this game
Right now at Pizza Hut, you can get 2 medium pizzas for just $11.99. Good on any medium pizza the Pizza Hut makes. Pizza Hut's the best pizzas under one roof.
Sorry, Chris, not only does this game mean title implications in the Bay Conference, it also means seeding because both of these teams play Division II football with the playoffs starting next Tuesday. They'll both be slotted in Division II.
So it's possible that these two teams can meet again in the postseason. Holds back to pass. Hit as he throws, fires it over the middle. Mike Rabus with a nice catch. Hauls it in right around the 25-yard line, just shy of a first down, but it was a nice effort by Rabus.
Coming into this football game, Rabus with 15 catches for 210 yards in conference play, a couple of touchdowns. Rabus has a knack for finding the open field in the backfield, and he's able to hang on to the football. Great concentration right here to hang on. A lot of receivers would have turned their head worried about the hit. Not Mike Rabus. He's worried about the football.
Tim Nelson in coverage. He did everything he could on that pass play. Just couldn't knock it to the ground. So it's third and very short for the Redbirds. Billy Nowak's going to get it. Picks up first down yardage. Cuts back. Cross midfield, and here he goes. Gets to the outside. To midfield, I should say, before Green wraps him up. 25 yards on the carry.
Boy, we see what he can do when he gets out in the open field. He is sweet in the open, kind of like Ray Allen. You just like to watch him run. As we take a second look, a lot of fun to watch both of these running backs with Billy Nowak. Nice 25-yard gain.
Does a wonderful job when he gets through the first line of defense making cutbacks. Puts the football on the right side of this. Away from the defender. Nice job by Green there to wrap him up. Nowak tonight, 12 carries for 73 yards, and that includes a 14-yard rushing loss on a fumble. So with the ball on the 50-yard line, they're going to go back inside to Nowak as he kind of from the wing-back position. Picks up 7, maybe 8 yards before he is pushed out of bounds.
Well, one of the things Ashwaubenon did after the loss to Bayport was practice tackling. They spent several days just practicing tackling. You see here, it didn't help them on the far side. It's the only time they had a chance to wrap up, they did. But that's one thing that they've really stressed at Ashwaubenon over the past couple weeks is wrapping up when you have a chance.
Fundamentals are the things that they started working on after that Bayport game. What a game that was. Down to the wire for the Jags. Losing to the Pirates. So Nowak this time goes in motion. It's going to be a pitch out to Eddie Powell. It looks like second effort gives him the first down, and it's going to be 1st and 10 with about 3 minutes and 53 seconds to go here in the first half of play.
And Chris, one of the words you've used many times in describing Ashwaubenon is a speed factory. I mean, it really is as if they just produce speed in and speed out year in and year out. 4.5, 4.4 guys running 40s. And a lot of times they win on talent alone, but you've got a team like De Pere who is so sound fundamentally. They work on it every day, day in and day out. They are so sound.
1st and 10 with the ball on the 36, and the De Pere Redbirds are going to take a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. 7-0's our score, 3:35 to go here in the first half of play.
Isn't life beautiful, even with its ups and downs?
Green Bay Home Medical Equipment carries a full line of chassis chairs that can help keep you on the go, inside and out. Whatever your needs, whatever your lifestyle.
Green Bay Home Medical Equipment is there.
Welcome back. 7-0 is our score here. 3:35 to go. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Redbirds. They just took a timeout. This has been another impressive drive tonight. They moved the football, so to speak, but they just haven't got any points.
Yeah, they're not the type of team that likes to throw, you know, on 3rd and long, 4th and long, even 2nd and long for that matter. They love to run the football, and if they can continue getting 6, 7 yards like they average on 1st and 2nd down, make it 3rd and short, that's where they play into the defense's hands.
1st and 10, Coach G for Ashwaubenon talked about all the many formations, and tonight we've seen it from the Redbirds. Fumble. Powell fumbles it, and it's recovered by the Jags.
Well, we just started talking about how sound fundamentally De Pere is, and unfortunately for them, they lose the football as they're moving. You cannot turn the football over against any team, let alone a Jaguar team, and you can bet head coach Greg Ravis is pretty disappointed about the way this offense has been running here in the first half.
It looked like the football just kind of squirted out from Eddie Powell, and I'm not certain who recovered that. Oh, Kevin Green did. So 1st and 10 for the Jags. Alexson, option to Kelly. Cuts it up. Boise quick. Gets downfield, close to midfield before he's wrapped up. 1st and 10, Jags. 19 yards on the carry.
Well, here they go. If the Jags can run the football and run it with success, they can be so dangerous. And getting back to the turnover very quickly, Coach Golomsky said that when they turn the football over, when they get the football from someone, they need to score with it. They did it 7 times last year. They've only done it 2 this year.
Boys, you take a look at that replay. You saw Brad Boltman, the big tackle downfield, Judd O'Connell with the tremendous block, and Aaron Check as well. So the 2 receivers and the offensive linemen really throwing some bodies around on bodies to get big yardage on 1st down. Grayson Warzen carries it, breaks off a couple tackles for the big pullback before he's pushed back by a sea of red. Andy Ballman in on the stop.
Grayson Warzen, 71 attempts in conference, running the football coming into the game. Mentioned 554 yards coming in. 7.8 average himself, not too shabby.
You know, the last couple of years, this Ashwaubenon team, and really the last couple of years for De Pere, they haven't had what you would call a traditional fullback. They've been guys that can really run the football. Of course, we're talking about Grayson Warzen for Ashwaubenon and Billy Nowak for the Redbirds. So again, this time on the option, Alex Jung keeps it, picks up a 1st down before he's wrapped up. Nick Spaeth in on the stop.
Yeah, along with Jacob Houston in on the stop as well. And what a great play action by Grayson Warzen on that last play. What he did on that play was absolutely phenomenal. He got 2 linebackers to come after him, enabling them to get that positive yardage.
So far tonight, Alex Jung 3 carries for 20 yards. He's 6 of 11 passing for 95 yards.
Having a little problem with the yard markers across the field.
Chain gang, trying to get that thing fixed over there. Not sure what there is to it other than a chain and a couple posts, if you will.
Well, if you got the base a little loose on that side, you could go for 1st down and 9 yards if you play your cards right. But Ashwaubenon, here we go again, moving the football. Coach G looking on.
Guys get it worked out. So on 1st down, Jags back to work. Alex Jung back to the air, and he is wrapped up immediately. Credit the whole entire defensive front for that sack. Andy Ballman gets off the pile. Mike Rabus gets off the pile.
Yeah, it looked as if they were going to try a screen. He was going to take about a 7-step drop and just start looking to his right. The offensive lineman just let the entire defense come on in. They didn't play it enough. They just allowed the defensive line to come in. They didn't at least even try to block him at that point. What a great job by the Redbird defense.
Josh Westpaul was the first guy to officially get there, and Mark Callahan was the other guy to help finish him off. So Kelly on 2nd and long gets the ball, and he picks up big yardage back to the original line of scrimmage. 8 yards on the carry. And the Jags are going to take a timeout to stop the clock with a minute. We'll take a timeout as well. So 7-0 is our score. Ashwaubenon on top. Final minute of the 1st half when we return on the Hardee's High School Football Showdown.
If you're looking for a challenging career where you can really grow, then Outlook Group is your single-source solution. We're looking for exceptional people to work in our packaging department. Packaging is dedicated to printing, finishing, die cutting, folding, and gluing. At Outlook Group, we're committed to employee involvement and education, and that's why we invest in cross-training throughout our other departments like Print Plus and Distribution. Outlook Group, your single-source solution for a rewarding career. Call 1-800-769-3943 today and grow with us.
Final minute of play here in the 1st half. Matt Thompson making his way down to the sidelines. As it stands right now, he'll have the comments entering halftime with Coach Ken Golomsky. As you see the Ashwaubenon faithful, plenty to cheer about here, and their football team driving. 3rd and 10 for the Jags. It's going to be a handoff to Kelly. Picks up 5, but he's going to be well shy of a 1st down. Kelly now 11 carries, 71 yards on the night. Here's another look at the replay. Kelly was the guy against Bayport. He got knocked out of the game, I believe, with a knee injury, some type of leg injury, but came back 100% last week. Coach G said while he had under 100 yards, he had a tremendous ball game against their foe last week. As I look, Ashwaubenon 17-14 winners over Pulaski. Pulaski's a pretty good football team now. I know their record doesn't necessarily indicate it, but they're good. So back to the air, Alexion on third down. Fires over the middle to Wassenberg. He's got it. Picks up first down yardage. Nice catch in traffic there by Wassenberg, 13 yards. Keeping the drive alive on fourth down. They pick up the first down. There's another timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout. 14 seconds to go in the first half of play. 7-0 Ashwaubenon on top.
GM's Keep America Rolling program features 0% financing on every new 2001 and 2002 car, truck, van, or SUV.
We've never seen anything like it before. 0% financing on every new Chevrolet, Pontiac, and Oldsmobile.
That means you can save hundreds, even thousands of dollars on your next car or truck. 0% financing offer includes all 2001 closeout models.
We've been saying it for over 70 years. You'll like our prices. You'll love our service. That's guaranteed.
Gotta go to Dutchman.
First and 10 with the ball on the 23. That first down completion makes it 7 completions on 12 attempts for Brad Alexion tonight, 108 yards. So 14 seconds to go here in the first half of play for the Jags. I formation, 2 receivers split each side. Alexion back to the air, fires over the middle, and he's got his man. It's Matt Wassenberg inside the 5-yard line, just shy of the goal line. And there's the final timeout by the Ashwaubenon Jaguars after a 20-yard completion to Wassenberg right over the middle. Alexion poised in the pocket, looking for his big tight end, fires over the middle, and he finds him. Eddie Powell's in on the stop. Coach G looking on. You know, we talked to him just at halftime of Bayport. He said he's going to err on the side of caution, but he has a chance for 7 more. Hey, kids, if your school team wins tonight's game, you win too. Just come into your local Pizza Hut restaurant, show your student identification card, and save 20% off your Pizza Hut pizza during the upcoming week. Pizza Hut, the best pizzas under one roof. So with the football on the 3-yard line, 6 seconds to go. Continuing my thought against Bayport, if you remember, going into half, they inserted Justin Rainier at quarterback. He had the football stripped, and Casey Collins ran it in for a touchdown for Bayport, cutting into the lead of the Jags. And G said we would err on the side of caution, but they're going for it here in the final minute of play with the football on the 3-yard line. Alexion rolls out. He's going to keep it himself and get in for 6 more. Touchdown, Jaguars. So on the final play of the first half, Brad Alexion, who limps off gingerly, runs it in for a 3-yard score, and it is 13-0 Ashwaubenon. Here's another look at it. And Alexion decided to tuck it, keep it himself, and score. Mitch Decker on to attempt the extra point, and that's it. 14-0 is our score here at the half, as the Jaguars score on the final play of the first half. And think about momentum that takes for Ashwaubenon into the locker room and really deflates the Pere Redbirds. So on the final play of the first half, Brad Alexion decides to keep it himself. He runs it in from 3 yards out, and he picks up a touchdown. Mitch Decker adds the extra point. He boots it through, and that makes it 14-0, our score there at halftime. Another look as you see Alexion taking it in. So 14-0 is our score here as we enter halftime. Matt Thompson is now standing by with Ashwaubenon head coach Ken Golomsky. Matty?
All right, thanks a lot, Chris. Coach Golomsky, 14-0 lead. Talk about the first half.
Well, I tell you, we're playing it real close to the vest. We gambled a couple times and won. A couple of weeks ago, I said I was going to start playing percentages, and I should follow my own advice. But Depere's been running the ball on us. That still worries me. We haven't stopped any. We're moving the ball up and down the field. We were very fortunate they fumbled once, and we got them on an errant pitch. So it's not that we stopped them. They kind of stopped themselves. We got to plug those holes on defense, and then we got to continue to score on offense.
Well, Coach, your offense has been doing a good job, but the defense has really been the special point of this first half, haven't they, for you guys?
Well, we made the plays when we had to, but it was one of those bend that don't break. I'd like to get more 3 and outs.
All right, Coach, we'll let you get back to your team for half. Thank you very much. Well, a 14-0 lead for the Ashwaubenon Jaguars here. They've been able to do a good job both offensively and defensively. We'll see how they bring earache whatsoever. Freedom is leading Wapaka 19-7.
That is the Valley 8 championship. Freedom lost to FBL earlier this season, and then on the showdown, Wapaka knocked off FBL, so that could create a logjam atop the Valley 8 conference. We'll find out tonight on the Friday Night Thunder, not the Hardy's High School Thunder. Here's the kickoff of the second half of play. And you notice when teams are kicking to that south end zone, that is where the wind is behind them. And so far tonight, 2 kicks, 2 shots into the end zone.
Yeah, it's not as heavy as it was when this game started at 7:33, but it has backed off a little bit. But, you know, it's still there. It could play a factor if this game becomes tight. And 14-0. As you heard Coach Ravis right before we came on for the second half of this game, still very confident, still knows his team can run the football and move it as they always have.
One thing the wind really won't affect is you see the crowd cheering on. 1st and 10 with the ball on the 20. They're going right back to the ground, and they're giving it to Billy Nowak, who picks up 3 yards on 1st down. Well, you know, De Pere is 3rd offensively in the Bay Conference, Matty, so they can move the football.
Well, they know they can, and as we've talked about earlier, they do it mostly on the ground, over 1,800 yards on the ground coming in, just 400 through the air, but they don't have to pass the football very much.
2 passes only in the first half, and we were promised we'd see a little more aerial assault by the Redbirds, but not yet.
Well, without the turnover and backing them up in field position, they would have to throw the football a little bit more. At this point, they just don't.
14 carries, 82 yards for Nowak. Before that run, it's 1st down for the Redbirds.
And for De Pere, what do? They get the football to start the second half, which is very key.
They deferred in the first half.
Absolutely. Down 14-0. If they can cut into this lead, cut this lead in half, even put some points on the board, give their team a lot of confidence that they can win this football game.
1st and 10 with the ball on the 31 for De Pere. That's exactly how Coach Ravis and this Redbird offense wanted to start the second half off. Nowak again. Like he stumbled as he got the handoff, dives ahead for a couple, does make some positive yardage out of it. 3 straight Nowak carries here to start the second half, man.
Yeah, and he's the workhorse. He's the one that's going to get most of the carries. He's the quicker of the two, and definitely a very tough runner. Not to say that Powell's isn't very quick. You just compare the two, Nowak's got the quicker feet.
He's carried the football on all 3 plays here in the second half, has 13 yards in the second half alone. Rushing the football, 92 on the night. Billy Nowak has had some huge nights on the Thunder, on the showdown. Back to the air, Falls looking over the middle for Ravis, hauls it in, nice catch across midfield. 1st and 10, Redbirds after the 20-yard reception.
Well, there's that passing that we talked about. When they need to pass, they can do it. Ravis is the primary target. He finds himself a great way to get open, and he does. What a great play-action fake, too, by Falls.
You talk about primary target, 6'3", 185 pounds. He's finally healthy this season.
Yeah, absolutely, and it means all the world when you can make your cuts and do what you need to do, as Ravis does. And you recognize the name Ravis, the coach's son.
There's a family affair on the sidelines as well for the Redbirds. Nowak carries it on 1st and 10. He is met immediately by DeRozier and Shills, and those are 2 guys we haven't really said a whole lot about tonight.
Sheet metal, Shills' nickname. Everybody on the
Rosie for DeRozier. You know what?
They all have nicknames.
If we've got their nickname list, that's how I remember all of them. I want to call Oxygen Peanut Butter. Aaron Check's nickname is Rubber. I almost said Pass to Rubber in the first half. I don't know why, but maybe it's because I give everybody a nickname.
Well, that's how the coach is able to remember everybody.
So 2nd down and 9 as Nowak only carried for a yard on the last play, and that ball batted down. Nice job right there by number 44, Chad Warpinski.
And Chad Warpinski making his presence felt on the defensive side of the football, as you mentioned, coming back from injury, and he planted his feet and knew that one was coming all the way. He might have even been able to pick that one off.
Here's another look at it from the end zone cam. Holtz now tonight, I believe, is 2 for 4. That's right, for 30 yards.
Well, when you can't get to the quarterback, you watch his eyes and see where he's going with the football. Warpinski knew where he was going.
Big 3rd down here for the Redbirds, and it's going to be draw play. Powell wrapped up immediately. Whole pack of Jags take him in, led by Stephen Shills and DeRozier.
I'll tell you what, Chris, I was on the sidelines for that last touchdown by Alexgen, and that sideline is fired up right now. These guys believe that they can come in here and win. They did it last year, so they know they can do it. They're very fired up, and I could hear the players going, this is our day, this is our day.
They did it last year, and they did it with their first drive of the second half. It was, my memory serves me, 14-0 at halftime last year. Eli Savoy boots it. It's going to be fielded by Nate Ness at the 30-yard line, and he is wrapped up immediately. And on the stop, Nick Schweitz. So it'll be 1st and 10. The ball on the 31-yard line for the Jags.
And that's decent field position, and more importantly, they stopped DePere with a 14-0 lead. They stopped DePere's offense, and now DePere has their defense on the field once again. I mean, that first drive of the football game, I'm not exactly sure what the time of possession was, but I believe it knocked about 8 minutes off the clock. It sure seemed like it, and that really took the wind out of them early.
It was a fast first half, so
Absolutely.
1st and 10 for the Jags. The ball on the 32-yard line. Grayson Warzen. Ooh, I think he got hit hard 6 or 7 times on that carry.
He's tough.
Physical defensive unit there by the Redbirds. Warzen does pick up 5 yards on that carry. Has 7 carries now for 43 yards.
Take a second look at Grayson Warzen here. Watch a combination of his feet and his head. There, his head gets knocked, his feet keep moving. One of the very many talents of this young man. He gets hit, but still keeps those feet moving to get positive yards.
Josh Westfall was in on the stop. He was the guy with the second big blow. More option, Kelly outside. Knocked out of bounds by Billy Nowak. Matt, that first carry by Warzen was the exact play that Ashwaubenon ran on their opening series to start the second half last year that was ripped off for, I think, a 80-yard touchdown run. It was 1st and 10 with the ball on the 20, tied at 14, and the fullback, who at the time was Justin Rousseau, ripped it off an 80-yard touchdown run, and that was the first nail in the coffin, if you will, for a year ago.
Think that was intentional?
I don't know, you know. And
Coach Golomsky.
Just such similarities between this game and last year's game. So Kelly's going to get the pitch. Tries to turn the corner. Penalty flag down, and Bill Nowak and Eddie Powell's in on the stop. They've really done a job keeping the speed of Ashwaubenon contained tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one of the positives of their 4-4 set with the 4 linebackers. And you've got to have 4 linebackers that can really move and make plays as we get a holding call against Ashwaubenon, backing them up 10 yards. But those 4 linebackers really move well and keep things going.
Lendy Denamer is our referee tonight. Ted Mellinson is our umpire. The head linesman is Tom Frieder. The lines judge is Rick Pruka. And Pete Wilkie is the back judge. All the crew tonight from Manitowoc and Two Rivers. Another look at it. Ashwaubenon's longest run tonight, 21 yards by Kelly. And you know, you say that's a pretty nice gain, but when we saw him against Bayport, he was ripping it off until he got hurt like that 3 or 4 times a drive.
Bayport's a solid defense, too.
So once again, Ashwaubenon finds him in 1st and long, and there's another penalty flag.
Well, this time I think Alex Jin did a nice job of coercing the defense to move.
I don't know, but Coach Rabus tapped the official on the line judge, I believe.
You're right. They're calling a false start. Rabus was right there.
Rick Pruka on the shoulder when he was dropping the flag.
Well, this defensive unit is coached by Don Rabus, Greg Rabus' father.
Who's a legend.
Absolute legend. Ken Golomsky told us all about his respect for the Rabus family, and Don Rabus coached for so many years, older than I even am, over at Kewanee. And only one person could have coerced him back into coaching, and that was his son.
Done a fine job on the defensive side of the football. 1st and 23 with the ball on the 31 for the Jags, and they're looking deep downfield for Judd O'Connell. Perfect play right there as it's intercepted by Nick Spades in the Redbird defense.
Well, that's the play that they were looking for. DePere's 3rd interception in conference this year, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Now they find themselves at about the 35-yard line, their own 35, with momentum in this football game, down by 14. So here DePere comes back.
Spades has really done a nice job in the secondary tonight. Here's a second look at the play, and he plays this ball perfectly. He gets his body between Judd O'Connell and the ball, and he picks it off and creates a turnover for the Redbirds.
Another great shot by our crew down there. Looked like a Sean Hauser-style shot from the sidelines, following that football all the way. Not an easy art.
So the ball 1st and 10 with the ball on the 30. 5-yard line for the Redbirds. They go back to the ground. Billy Nowak finds yardage up the middle. Breaks a couple tackles. 15 yards on the carry as he gets to midfield right at the 50. Nice job by Bill Nowak.
Anyone who thought that this game was out of reach is seriously mistaken at this point. 14-0. I mean, De Pere can score.
They need to get it in the end zone soon now, Matt.
Absolutely. Your time is winding down. 6.5 left here in the third. As the clock continues to roll, Billy Nowak keeps his feet going, gives his team another first down.
The De Pere fans cheering as Nowak has now passed the century mark rushing tonight. 18 carries, 108 yards. With the ball on the 50-yard line, 1st and 10. Nowak gets the ball again. Nice yardage, picks up 5 more on first down. Justin Rainier in on the stop.
Well, the right side of that line doing a nice job for De Pere as well. Actually, the entire line. Schneider, Kiley, Callahan, Hyatt. I mean, those guys, Coral, doing a great job. Overall, it's just they cannot turn the football over like they did in the first half and give up any type of yards. If they're a team that continues to move the football without putting it on the ground, it's only a matter of time before they put her in the end zone.
Well, you talked about the right side, which we saw on the last play by Brian Coral and Eric Kiley. Coach Rabus says Coral is a tremendous success story. Here's Powell trying to get outside on 2nd down. Gets up a first down, picks up a first down before he's pushed out of bounds. Brian Coral came in 185 pounds. He's now 250 pounds, and one of the anchors there on the right side of that offensive line. And right there, his blocking helps set up another first down by the Redbirds.
Well, one of the things you see here is the speed of Eddie Powles. We talk about the speed of Billy Nowak, how he's quick. You need to be quick to hit the corner against Ashwaubenon, and Eddie Powles showed that he has a burst of speed as well.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Redbirds. And they go back to the ground. Nowak, penalty flag. Picks up 6 yards, but I think this one's going to come back as that flag is thrown in the area of holding.
And penalties on a good drive set you back. Exactly what Greg Rabus does not want, and that's exactly what the call was, Chris. Holding against De Pere to knock them back from a 1st and 10 to a 1st and 20.
Lindy DeNamer threw that flag almost immediately as soon as that ball was snapped and nullifies a 7-yard pickup on first down by Bill Nowak.
10 yards, still 2nd down.
Right there it is. Another nice job by the guys down there picking up the penalty action right there, and I believe that's Callahan. His mom's going to be mad at me pointing out that Mark Callahan was grabbing the back of the jersey there and caused the holding penalty. So it's football's been pushed back to the Ashwaubenon 49.
Our crew just does a tremendous job. This is our last high school football game of the year, and they've done a great job all year long.
No doubt about it. Falls to the air. Fires out to Fowles, hauls it in. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Pickup of about, actually it is, 9 yards on the play.
Well, we talked about that Waupaca score and how much that means to the Valley 8. Could be a 3-way tie at the top with Freedom, Waupaca, and Fox Valley Lutheran. For those of you who haven't heard, Freedom is beating Waupaca right now at Freedom 19-7. And we'll talk a little bit more about Waupaca after this play.
With the ball on the 41-yard line, it is 2nd down and 11. Back to the air by Falls, and it's misfires. Throw behind the receiver, Mike Rabus.
And not to get off the subject too much, but an interesting case has happened here in Wisconsin, WIA. 32 teams in each division, 1 through 6, make the playoffs. And if you don't have enough teams, then you start picking teams from that 4-conference win. And if you have too many teams, you start dropping teams into the next level. Waupaca happens to be one of those teams that has dropped from D2 to D3 now. And I'll tell you what, Waupaca in D3 is pretty scary.
That is a huge jump, and that also means that teams like FVL could see them again.
Absolutely.
Falls back to the air on 3rd and 10. A little swing pass. Eddie Powles. Doesn't do much but lose a couple of yards, and it's going to force a 4th down.
That's a big defensive stand for the Jags. They were moving the football until that holding penalty.
It really is, but I still feel that if De Pere has to be forced into passing situations, it certainly isn't to their strong side.
Absolutely. Another great job by Chad Warpinski.
So Eli Savoy's going to punt it away for the Redbirds. The low line driver. Nate Ness fields it at the 8-yard line and is going to go straight upfield, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds just shy of the 20. We're going to take a timeout. 14-0 is our score. 1st and 10 Ashwaubenon on the Hardee's High School Football Showdown.
Isn't life beautiful, even with its ups and downs? If you have medical equipment needs, it's nice to know that we're around.
first down option. Aaron Kelly gets the pitch from the 17-yard line, picks up a couple of yards. Bill Nowak stops him, makes the tackle along with Eddie Powell.
Well, De Pere is going to have to come up with yet another stop on the defensive side, but they've only given up 14 points to this very powerful Ashwaubenon scoring machine, so to speak. Average dropped after last week's 17-14 win against Pulaski, which Coach Golomsky told us was one of the toughest wins they've had in a long time. Just 17, knocked their average down to about 33 points a game.
Chris Riva alongside Matt Thompson here. We have 4:02 to go in the third quarter. The Jags are up 14-0 and basically the Bay Conference Championship game. Handoff to Warzen. Picks up 3 or 4. Matt, earlier this week, Coach Ravis was talking about how interesting, how great it is for his kids to get an opportunity to play in a game such as this magnitude.
Just talked to them that they've all worked hard since the end of last season, and this is a reward. You know, last year was a reward to be in that championship game, and this is what they work for. You know, they get to be on TV, they get some media attention, and it's a reward. You know, they really deserve it.
Well, they're going to be rewarded if they can make a stop here on 3rd down and 5 defensively. Back to the air. Jags pulling it out. Judd O'Connell hauls it in, and it's first down yardage. Well, again, nice job in the coverage by Nick Spaeth, but not before Judd O'Connell can haul in the pass, get up at the field 8 yards, and make another first down for Ashwaubenon.
Well, the senior Judd O'Connell did a very smart thing there. They needed 5 yards. What did he do? He ran 6 yards instead of running 3 and trying to move upfield. He ran exactly the amount of yards he needed to run to get the first down. Good senior leadership.
13th first down on the night for Ashwaubenon. Inside handoff to Warzen. Very little running room, if any. Wrapped up immediately for no gain.
Judd O'Connell is one of those guys on the football team, as many of them are on the Jags, with track experience. I mean, you just can't underestimate the use of speed, and Speed Factory, the word just keeps coming up. When you've got so many guys that run 4.5s, 4.6s, and 4.4s, it's tough to compete against that. De Pere is one of the best teams at competing against the Jags.
Now they throw that 4-4 attack. Not opposing offenses. Back to the option. Alexson's going to keep it. Billy Nowak in on the stop, but it's going to force a 3rd down and 10, and there's no gain. They knocked them blurry on that play.
Well, now's the time where you look at that 4-4 offense and see, or 4-4 defense, excuse me, that De Pere runs, and you wonder, well, do we put, you know, make it a 5-2 and put the 4 defensive backs in? But they continue to run their 4-4 and try to, because their linebackers have enough speed to keep up with Ashwaubenon. We're going to see if they're going to be able to do that here, because Ashwaubenon will throw the football on 3rd and long.
In fact, it's been the passing game that really has propelled them to the 14-point lead. And they've done it with passes over the middle. Alexston firing over the middle to Matt Wassenberg, first down.
And what happened there was they continued to run the 4-4 defense, but they blitzed 2 guys from the right side. Alexston caught it and was able to hit O'Connell. What a nice job once again by Alexston.
Alexston firing for 12 yards to Matt Wassenberg, and again, the big tight end provides to be a huge target over the middle.
Yeah, Wassenberg has done a good job tonight, and as you mentioned, Alexston had guys coming right at his back. He felt the pressure coming and threw the football.
Tonight, Alexston 10 of 16 for 148 yards. This time, Warzen's going to get the carry. He carries a couple of defenders for 4 yards on that first down run.
Speaking of Wassenberg, saw a couple of people down on the sidelines with his jersey on. Must be a big seller over at Ashwaubenon.
It probably is.
Wassenberg jerseys.
See some of the faithful wearing the De Pere here in De Pere. We're at Dad Brazier Field. Final minute of play here in the third quarter. In fact, 40 seconds to go, and Ashwaubenon has the ball with 2nd down and 6. Ball on the 49-yard line in the finale of the Hardee's High School football showdown. Alexston, bad pitch. Bounces right up to Kelly. Oh, face mask. No penalty flags down, and Kelly got pushed out of bounds. I don't see a yellow flag on the field, and it looked like Kelly's face mask was grabbed by the defender. But needless to say, as we take another look at it. No penalty flags down. Boy, just a bad pitch by Alexstrom, but boy, the lucky hop right back to Kelly.
Yeah, and it couldn't have come at a worse time either towards the end of the third.
No doubt about it. They had his face mask right there, and Pere gets away with one. Matt Kolb inadvertently stuck the ball up there, got into the face mask. So there's actually 5 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 14-0 is our score, and it is 3rd down and 8 for the Jags. Alexstrom, draw, Kelly. He just bursts up the middle of the field, and he's gone. Nowak's not going to catch him. Kelly rips it off the touchdown, 54 yards, 20-0 Ashwaubenon.
Well, that's a tough one for the De Pere Redbirds because they were doing a pretty decent job of holding Ashwaubenon down, but throwing another 6 up on the board on the long touchdown run is really a pretty bad thing to happen for the De Pere Redbird defense.
Draw play on 3rd and long, and Kelly took it right up the gut for 34 yards and the touchdown. Kelly now has 130 yards on 15 carries.
Well, you take a second look. What a great job by that offensive line, and no one was able to get more than just a hand on Kelly, and you're not going to have much luck trying to tackle Kelly with just a hand.
Mitch Decker on to attempt the extra point. Jeff Steinhorst, the starting safety, is the holder, but a penalty flag falls before they get the PAT off.
Well, we've got a couple of updates for you. Bayport leads at Shawano 42-0, so it looks like their conference co-conference title is going to remain with Bayport and the winner of this football game. And on the other big game that we're trying to follow tonight, Freedom and Wapaka, that game has been closed to a 19-14 lead now. Freedom leads that football game in the third.
Decker puts it up, and through 21-0 is our score. We're going to start the 4th quarter of play when we return. The work is cut out for the De Pere Redbirds, but they get the ball 1st and 10 when we return on the Hardee's High School Football Showdown.
GM's Keep America Rolling program features 0% financing on every new 2001 and 2002 car, truck, van, or SUV.
We've never seen anything like it before. 0% financing on every new Chevrolet, Pontiac, and Oldsmobile.
That means you can save hundreds, even thousands of dollars on your next car or truck. 0% financing offer includes all 2001 closeout models.
We've been saying it for over 70 years. You'll like our prices. You'll love our service. That's guaranteed.
Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go to Ashwaubenon.
Simple, reliable. The experts at Bayland Telephone know there's more here than meets the eye. Bayland Telephone can provide your business with a single communication source for internet, cellular, local and long distance, business telephone systems, voicemail, paging, even data wiring services. Our skilled team makes it simple to upgrade your current system or design and install a new state-of-the-art system. Let our 90 years of experience put it all together for you. Call now for a free estimate. Simple, reliable. Bayland.
Well, we've got a final update as we take a look at the long touchdown run by Aaron Kelly. Closest man to him was Billy Nowak, and he was unable to stop Kelly. 4-5 guy. We keep talking about speed. 21-0 lead as we get the kickoff. We've got the final update from Bayport. Bayport beats Shawano 42-7 tonight.
Billy Nowak fields that ball at his goal line. Takes it across the 20 to the 24-yard line, and that's where they'll take over 1st and 10. Through 3 quarters to play, Ashwaubenon 340 yards of total offense. De Pere 170, exactly half of Ashwaubenon.
So with that win for Bayport,
Hollywood, our statistician,
Bayport will share the conference title, and good for them. Mike Willicat has done a great job with that Bayport football team. They're only stumbled to Marinette by 1 point. A great season by Bayport. They will compete in Division 1. In the WIAA, a team that has played basically Division II competition all year long. So that's a tough step for Bayport. We only wish the best for them.
with the ball on the 24-yard line, that's where they'll take over 1st and 10 for the Redbirds. Fowles goes in motion. They're going to force him to pass now, and Holtz goes back to pass. Fires over the middle. Rabus didn't turn for the football. Hit him in the numbers, and he drops it incomplete.
And it was the last time that he caught the football, or one of the 2 times that he's caught the football tonight. He really looked the ball in and did it well as we take a second look from behind.
Cam shot, yeah. You see, he turns late for the football and hit him right in the hands.
Yeah, he lost it a little bit. And you're talking about Bayport and the fact that they're going to be competing in Division I. You look at their numbers, they're listed as 1,301 students. And in order to qualify for Division I, you have to be over 1,285 students.
Wow.
So they make it by 16, so to speak. But it's going to be a tough run, but Bayport's a good football team.
Saw them earlier on the showdown. Beat Ashwaubenon at their place. This time, Ravis hauls it in, first down, just shy of the 40-yard line. Kevin Green in on the coverage, along with Judd O'Connell.
Well, now we're going to see what this offense can do throwing the football, because down by 21, they are going to be forced to throw, and Bob Falls can do it. He just hasn't had to do it all that often. 32 of 62 coming into the football game with 5 touchdowns.
As we talk about the finale on the showdown here, this is Mikey, we call him Hollywood. He's our statistician. You think I rattle this stuff off the top of my head? Nothing to it. Look, he's camera shy. He doesn't want to step in front of the booth. So on first down, it's a little pitch to Powell's. Penalty flag's down. Ooh, nice tackle right there. Looks like Nate Ness stepped up.
Nate Ness led the team in interceptions coming into the football game with 2. Comes up with a nice hit. Leads the team in good hits tonight with 1. There's been a lot of good hits in this football game, and Nate Ness is... Boy, this one's coming back.
That was a twofer right there, clipping and holding.
Wow.
Wrong direction for the Redbirds.
When you look at the big conference, as you mentioned, we've got De Pere going to the playoffs, Ashwaubenon going to the playoffs, Marinette with 5 conference wins. They're going to go to the playoffs as well. It's going to be a pretty tough round for Division II in this area. Kakona also qualifies in Division II. They're pretty good. Wapaka was originally in Division II until they have now slipped to Division III. So just from this area, the field of 8, and there'll be 4 separate 8 divisions, so to speak, of the 32. It's going to be a pretty nice draw to watch in this area.
Well, you see the De Pere faithful still cheering on. How about D1, Matty? You talk about Bayport getting in, but who else is going to be in?
Well, in D1, you've obviously got Fond du Lac, the #1 ranked team in the state, and #1 ranked team on our door and poll all year long, along with Bayport. And Nina Oshkosh North out of the FVA. Both of those teams have qualified. And Manitowoc out of the FRVC, and Green Bay Preble as well out of the FRVC.
On 1st and 23 from the ball on the 25-yard line, Falls fires looking for Mike Rapis, but it falls to the turf incomplete.
You know, of those teams that we just talked about, Green Bay Preble undefeated in the FRVC, and kind of came out of nowhere last year and ended up taking on Oshkosh North in the sectional final for the right to go to state. And Oshkosh North, one of the best teams in the history of the state of Wisconsin, went on to win that game. Boy, Preble could be a team to watch.
Well, led by Coach Brocknell. He's one of the karma guys we have from Thunder. He's visited the studios a couple times. We certainly root on the Hornets over there. Good guy. I know they're working on trying to build their own facility, currently playing at City Stadium. So on 2nd down and 23, folds back to pass, and he's sacked. DeRozier takes him to the turf for the sack, and things are just not going De Pere's way tonight.
DeRozier, the Mohawk. Fantastic football player, absolutely. He's, you're going to take a second look at what DeRozier means to a defense that he just does not stop. He keeps it going, and if he wraps you up, you're going down. DeRozier's a heck of a football player. Also,
looks like Eric Schultz.
Eric Schultz. Well, we got our numbers down tonight.
3rd and 30 with the ball on the 18, and they're going to hand it off to Powell, who gets outside. Nate Ness wraps him up. Second big tackle for Ness in the secondary here on the last couple of plays. You talk about the Mohawk. What you're talking about is during their 2-days or their training camp. It's been tradition in an old clipper set, a hair clipper set's been handed down. We'll take another look at the play by Eddie Powell. You know, to the seniors, and then they go to town. They trim you up. And DeRozier earlier this year was sporting a Mohawk, because that's the type of haircut that he and his teammates passed along. It was interesting, to say the least.
There's some teams that don't allow it, but Coach Golomsky doesn't want to take away from the players' individuality.
Eli Savoy gets a bad kickoff. That wouldn't even have picked up a first down. We're going to take a timeout. 1st and 10 Ashwaubenon when we return on the Hardee's High School Football Showdown.
Isn't life beautiful, even with its ups and downs? If you have medical equipment needs, it's nice to know that we're around. Get back in the game with a new attitude. You know our people really care. Green Bay Home Medical Equipment is there.
first down. Jags back to the ground. Aaron Kelly gets the carry. Busts a couple tackles, picks up first down yardage before he is finally wrapped up, and that almost went for 6 more.
That would have been a game-saving tackle by Nick Schweitz as Kelly just busts right up the middle.
16 yards on the carry. Showing some toughness there. As you can see, busts off a tackle from Eddie Powell, and as you talk about Schweitz saves, 146 yards on 16 carries. You talk about playoff teams and teams that really just peak towards the end of the season. I don't know if there's a better coach in the state that has his football team playing at the end of the season consistently like G does at Ashwaubenon. So on 1st and 10, Grayson Warzen muscling his way for about 6, maybe 7 yards on the first down carry.
Well, they are the defending Division II state champions, and they were one of the teams last year that you would watch, kind of like Oshkosh North, and say, now, this team's something special. They've got a chance to win it all.
But they were hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a team this year where you look at them and you think, well, they're very good, obviously, and they're your typical Ashwaubenon great team, but they have some holes to fill on special teams on the defensive side of the football, but I wouldn't put anything past G and this Division II team.
You know, I talked at halftime in the Rural Insurance Halftime Report and said that Greg Rabus represented just everything that was good about high school football. So does Coach Golomsky, 2 of the best guys you'll find anywhere here in Northeast Wisconsin coaching football. You know, and the thing that I am impressed with in the years that we have done the Showdown is that Coach Golomsky over the last 2 years has suffered losses on the Showdown. This year to Bayport, last year to Marinette. Then we had them in final weeks of the season. His football team is better. He doesn't typically lose by the same things, and he talks about we're not going to get beat twice by the same characteristics in a football game. He corrects things and gets his football team playing better the next time around. And as he's lost 2 big games on the Hardee's High School Football Showdown, his teams have come back and won big games. And so far tonight, they have a 21-0 lead with 8:57 to go here in the 3rd quarter, and they're driving on 2nd and short. Alex Chen keeps it, surges ahead for a couple of yards, picks up a first down.
You know, and on the other side of the field, you see De Pere. They are also waiting in the wings in Division II playoffs. They are a team that, with the right draw, could go a long way. I mean, they can really run the football as well as anyone in the state, as we've seen even tonight. They run the football fantastic. If they get the right draw through the first couple of weeks, they're a team that, you know, could really scare some people and find their way down to Camp Randall.
So on 1st and 10 with the ball at the 20, here's Alex Judd pitching out to Kelly. Kelly's got Warzen blocking in front of him, turns the quarter, penalty flag down, breaks a tackle, it's a touchdown, but we're going to have to wait and see if this one's going to be called back, Matty.
You know, it looks like it is going to be called back. Nate Peterson looks to be sitting on the ground with his hands in the air before he got up, wondering, what did I do? What did I do? This one is coming back.
I'm 85.
No, they're calling 85, not 55.
Judd O'Connell.
Walking back on the offense. Go first down.
Well, any type of penalty that takes points off the board is a pain. And right now,
pushing it back right there by Judd O'Connell, yep.
The pain feels good for De Pere right now because they did not give up the 6. But it's still first down for Ashwaubenon. You know, Chris, you look at Division I, too, in WIA. The team that I really look, and I've been calling their name all year long, is the Neenah Rockets. They're a team, their only loss is to Fond du Lac, the #1 ranked team in the state. And again, a team with the right draw. Neenah can do anything.
Alston to the air, right through the hands of Aaron Check, and he had 6 more if he hauls that football in.
Neenah's also a team we had on the Showdown earlier this year.
Against Menasha.
Against Menasha.
Brothers McCarthy. They're impressive down there.
They really are.
Big physical football team.
They sure do. And once again, a team with the right draw. They could really do a lot. Now, Kaukauna in the FVA, Check almost had that football. Kaukauna in the FVA, they missed Division I by 13 kids.
Really a difference there. A couple of kids can make a difference.
You throw 14 more kids in that school, they're playing a Division I playoff schedule.
Allison under center, 2nd down and long. With the ball on the 35. Draw play, Kelly. Nice job there by number 44, Matt Kolb. He was the only guy to make that tackle, and he made it.
Tough guy to wrap up as well, and Kolb did a nice job on him. defensively, for the most part, De Pere has done a nice job tonight. They gave up the first touchdown on the game on a 4th and long. And here they do a nice job on 2nd down, holding Ashwaubenon still to a 3rd and long. Nice wrap-up tackle.
Kelly, 149 yards rushing tonight. Alexton, 148 yards passing. 148 moves Alexton into the top 5 on the showdown. Boy, late pitch to Kelly. Busts the tackle, cuts it inside, and he's gone. Touchdown, Jaguars. Aaron Kelly with a 37-yard touchdown run.
And that touchdown run is the final draw for this Ashwaubenon football team, because with 7:15 left to go in this game, Ashwaubenon is going to go to 8-1 on the season and co-champions of the Bay Conference after that touchdown.
Late pitch by Alexton. Out to Kelly as we get another look at it. And Kelly breaks the tackle, cuts inside, and takes it to distance. They're just so quick, it just wears you down. They're kind of like a time bomb. You just know they're going to eventually go. Second TD on the night for Kelly. Mitch Decker boots it through. We're going to take a timeout. 28-0 is our score. Ashwaubenon on top of the pier here at Dad Brazier Field.
GM's Keep America Rolling program features 0% financing on every new 2001 and 2002 car, truck, van, or SUV.
We've never seen anything like it before. 0% financing on every new Chevrolet, Pontiac, and Oldsmobile.
That means you can save hundreds, even thousands of dollars on your next car or truck. 0% financing offer includes all 2001 closeout models.
We've been saying it for over 70 years. You'll like our prices. You'll love our service. That's guaranteed.
Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go to Dodge Benz.
If you're looking for a challenging career where you can really grow, then Outlook Group is your single-source solution. We're looking for exceptional people to work in our distribution department. Distribution is dedicated to direct mail and marketing and fulfillment. At Outlook Group, we're committed to employee involvement and education, and that's why we invest in cross-training throughout our other departments, like Print Plus and Packaging. Outlook Group, your single-source solution for a rewarding career. Call 1-800-769-3943 today and grow with us.
Welcome back. Not a lot to cheer for the De Pere Redbird faithful tonight. Short kick. Somebody better jump on it. And I believe that ball's right on the 20-yard line. It's where they'll take over 1st and 10. And that was one of those where it was just kind of a lob ball, if you will, and nobody really knew what to do once it hit the turf. Billy Nowak finally jumped on it.
We've talked about Division I and Division II playoffs in this area. The cream of the crop in Northeast Wisconsin is definitely Division III. I mean, I have predicted from day one that our state champion will come out of Division III, and we have got some phenomenal schools in Division III. Sheboygan Falls, our defending state champion, is 7-1 coming into tonight.
19 starters?
19 starters they lost.
You were down there before the season started.
They didn't know what was going to happen down there, and they were, I mean, 6-0 before their loss.
I know both their whole entire starting backfield now starts for Oshkosh from D3 football. Bobby Folds firing deep downfield, incomplete. The intended receiver is Chris Keene. Hey, kids, if your school team wins tonight's game, you win too. Just come into your local Pizza Hut restaurant, show your student ID card, and save 20% off your Pizza Hut pizza during the upcoming week. Pizza Hut, the best pizzas under one roof.
We talked about Freedom beating Wapaka at last call, 19-14, down in Freedom for at least a share of the Valley 8 championship. They would also battle in Division III.
They won that game?
We have not heard a final yet.
Holds back to the air, firing over the middle. He's got his man. Nice catch by Andy Feller right there.
Outstanding catch by Feller. That one could have easily been picked off. Holtz put that ball right where it needed to be.
16 yards.
Absolutely outstanding.
6'3", 180-pound junior, Feller is. Nice job in coverage by the Jaguar defense. Holds back to the air, and he's picked off. And then fumbled. I believe it was Jeff Steinhorst with the interception.
Well, it was DeRozier who fell on it at the end.
May have been Green. Second look will clear it up. And that's the final nail in the coffin for the Redbirds. Nope, Nate Ness. who had an interception against Bayport, returned for a touchdown.
Good call, too, because that was his third interception of the year, which leads this Jaguar team.
Well, as you can see now, the bench is starting to clear for the Jags on offense, and I was wondering how much longer that was going to take. Kevin Moran is the backup quarterback. The junior is in now to lead the Jaguar offense, and we have a stoppage in play.
Well, last year, Chris, Northeast Wisconsin had several state champions. Division I, Oshkosh North took care of business down there. Division II, Ashwaubenon. Division III, we were going to win either way. It was Sheboygan Falls and Green Bay Notre Dame. And well, that's another team we have yet to talk about. Green Bay Notre Dame competing in Division III, playing as good as you can right now. We saw them last week.
Well, Moran under center now, and he's going to hand off to his fullback. Muster a couple of yards. It was 1st and 15 after delay of game, and I don't think that's what G wanted to see from his backups when they entered the game immediately.
No, it's good to see the young guys getting the playing time right before the playoffs start. For anyone interested, Tuesday is when the playoffs start in WIAA, followed by Saturday games. Saturday the following weeks, although some Division III and IV teams have been able to possibly move their games on the week of October 27th to that Friday, so we're still awaiting word on each school's particular choice.
Stephen Schills carried the football on first down. He's going to block for Jeremy Kane this time, and they move backwards again.
A couple of other teams in Division III to talk about. Chilton at 5-2. In the Olympian provided some good football this year. Valders 7-1 overall, but the real team to talk about in the Olympian plays in Division 5, and well, I don't know if they can be stopped, Chris, and that's Hilbert. Hilbert is
atop the door
outstanding
all season long as well.
But you know, there's one team that people don't get to see a whole lot of unless they watch Friday Night Thunder, and that's Wasaki, because we've had them on, and Wasaki also 8-0 in Division 5, another outstanding football team playing in the M&O.
On third down, Moran back to pass. Heavy pressure, decides he's going to keep it. Fumbles the football, and it's recovered by Pere, and they'll take over 1st and 10. So the backups not very productive on their 3-and-out.
But more importantly, they've gotten some playing time, and they've got a sense of what football is like out on the field. You can practice all you want, take a second look at it.
Moran perhaps will be the starting quarterback next year. He's a junior because Alishton is a senior this year. So perhaps we're seeing things to come. You know, talking about Aaron Kelly's night, 18 carries, 180 yards. He had a 10-yard per carry average tonight, 2 touchdowns, 4th on the all-time Thunder list by a yard, showdown list this season. Now he falls back to pass and he's sacked. Well, Penske was the second guy in. The Jags sandwiched him and ripped him to the turf. The first man is Craig Bomeyer.
Well, this game, as you alluded to, Chris, take a second look at it as Falls gets sacked, is eerily similar to last year's football game. And, you know, after that game, which was the last game of the year, Pere defeated Waupaca in the first playoff game. So they went on and, you know, made it to the second round. But they did beat Waupaca after that, and Waupaca's a good football team, as we know.
Indeed. Falls back to pass. Again, heavy pressure, and again, sacked to the turf. It appeared Nate Laurent was in on the sack there for the Jaguars. And that is sophomore number 70, Adam Kelsey, who was forced into action. They brought him up from the JV this week because Justin O'Hearn is still injured.
Yeah, O'Hearn is a young man that injured himself a couple of weeks ago on our showdown, and they thought at the time that he may be out for the year. We're kind of going week to week after they saw his recuperation process, and now they're saying that he could very well play on Tuesday for the playoffs.
So on third down and long, Billy Nowak gets the carry and finds little yardage, and it's going to force a 4th down and big.
And O'Hearn is a young man that can change the complexity of a game by himself on that defensive line. He is what they call their best all-around player athlete, and O'Hearn can really change the portion of a game. We check out the second look at that run.
Brent Dorn in on the stop. Here's the punt. Best job by Eli Savoy tonight. We'll take a timeout. 28-0 is our score. 1st and 10 Jaguars when we return on the Hardee's High School Football Showdown.
You know, I've been through a lot on my Kelly Safari tires. I've crossed rivers, really big rivers. Once, I drove straight through a jungle.
Stop in at Pomps now for great values on Kelly tires.
I love my Kelly Safari so much, when I'm through with them, I pass them down to the kids. So get yourself some Safaris, and you'll go far.
Sheet metal. Stephen Shills gets the carry on 1st down. He picks up 9 yards. Then there was a massive collision with Adam Whiting. Hit on the stop. Here's a replay, which you missed while we were away at commercial.
Oh, man. Head-rocking shot. Falling forward.
Stephen Shills, one tough guy. When you're nicknamed Sheet Metal, that's saying something.
We didn't give him any nicknames. Coach G has them all.
Shills gets the carry again. He picks up 1st down yardage. Only needed a couple to pick it up. I believe that ball's on the 46-yard line.
Chris, I look at it 2 ways. If you're going to face an Ashwaubenon team, you're either scared to death to face this team, or you're really up for the challenge of facing this team, because you don't know what G's going to bring.
No.
I mean, this is an Ashwaubenon team that, as we see, can shut you out 28-0. They could also win the tough ones like they did last week against a good Pulaski team, 17-14. They're just a unique football team where they can grind it out and pass.
As you can see, the Ashwaubenon cheerleaders just took out the cameraman. Kind of like the Jags have taken out the De Pere Redbirds tonight. Everybody okay down there?
Well, he's sitting down. I don't know if that's a good sign.
Tape him up and put him back in.
Now, we haven't talked about Division 4 just yet in the state. We've got some good teams in that area as well. Wyowiga Fremont out of the CWC Large. They're 7-1. A couple of teams undefeated. Kewanee and Laconia, who you might have seen on Friday Night Thunder Wednesday version last night. Laconia, a very good football team, undefeated in the flyway.
Well, Moran's going to keep it. Spin off a couple tackles. Wrapped up and stopped at the 45-yard line.
A couple of other teams to mention, and for those of you who follow high school football, you know how good Kewanee and Laconia are. How about Fond du Lac Springs thrown into that mix at D4? Squad. Algoma has had a fantastic year at 7-1. Valders, as we mentioned, out of the Olympian, also 7-1, only lost to Hilbert. I mean, there is a phenomenal set of Division 4 teams, not to mention Peshtigo in the M&O with 5 conference wins coming into tonight.
Perhaps the best football we've seen this year yet to come. Stephen Shills carries it on 2nd down. Picks up 3. Hollywood, our statistician, says now the subs have carried for 19 yards. He's on it. Guy doesn't give up.
Some teams with 4 wins that needed to win tonight to get into the playoffs. Ripon out of the Wisconsin Flyway Conference. They had 4 conference wins. Menasha St. Mary's out of the Olympian, another team. 4 conference wins, has a chance, if they were to win tonight, to get in. Southern Door, Tigerton, Winneconne is a team that needed to win as well.
Final 25 seconds to go here in the game. Ashwaubenon could have done it. Matty, we'll find out what everybody did tonight on Friday Night Thunder, but we're going to wrap up this game right here, and that's going to be, I believe, the final play of the game. 13 ticks to go. 28-0 is our score, and indeed it is. These two teams will congratulate each other. The Ashwaubenon Jaguars are Co-Bay Conference champions along with the Bayport Pirates. We're going to take a timeout. When we return, we'll hear from head coach King Gabomski on the finale of the Hardee's High School Football Showdown.
We know you're targeting us.
You put profits over people.
We may be young, but we're not stupid. We're powerful. You need us?
But we don't need you.
We can't let teams know we're targeting them.
It's too late. We already know. And that's a fact.
Had enough? Join the fight against Big Tobacco.
Remember how you loved going to the local diner with your parents for an authentic French dip sandwich? No, you avoided going out with your parents. You were embarrassed by their matching sweatsuits. You must be thinking of Hardee's new authentic French dip sandwich. Roast beef carved to order, covered with Swiss cheese and piled high on a freshly baked roll. Perfect for dipping in our famous au jus sauce. Might want to take Mom and Dad to the drive-thru. Try Hardee's new French dip sandwich. Hardee's, the way food ought to be.
This is your way to keep America rolling. Broadway Automotive announces special used car financing as low as 3.3%. Low-cost car loans. 3.3% APR to every qualified buyer on GM, Ford, Chrysler, and import vehicles. Keep America rolling. Get a 3.3% used vehicle loan at Green Bay and Pulaski's Broadway Automotive.
Let's say you're nearsighted, but you hate the way you look in glasses. What do? You wear contact lenses. I had a bigger problem. My whole head was nearsighted. I started losing my hair at 18. I didn't like the way I looked. But then I heard about THR, transdermal hair restoration. It's a real breakthrough in non-surgical hair replacement. Now, I'm not even going to tell you how it works. I just want you to look at my hair. Even close up, it looks like it's growing out of my scalp. I'm not going to show you scenes of me water skiing or tell you that you get a promotion or a date with a supermodel. What I will tell you is that this makes me feel great about the way I look. Now, if you want to improve the way you look, call this number now for more information. When you get your hair back, I'll bet you feel great about the way you look too. After that, the promotion and the supermodel, that'll be up to you.
He's really like my brother. I look up to him.
It's great to see him working toward his future.
He made a smart decision.
ITT Technical Institute, education for the future. To find out more, call 1-800-ITT-TECH or visit us on the web. Take advantage of our programs in information technology. A more flexible schedule to reach your goals. Call 1-800-ITT-TECH today.
Welcome back to the Hardee's High School Football Showdown. 28-0 is our final score. Ashwaubenon on top. The victorious sent over to Pere and the Redbirds. Matt Thompson standing by with Ken Golomsky, the winning coach of Ashwaubenon. Matty?
All right, thanks a lot, Chris. Yeah, Coach Golomsky joins us. Coach, I guess first off, congratulations on winning at least a share of the conference championship. Bayport did win, so you guys did share the conference title. Congratulations on that.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. All credit should go to kids and my assistants. They did a great job of getting ready to play this week, and we played pretty decent football. We didn't make too many mistakes, and we put the ball in the end zone when we had to, and I was very proud of our defense. They made plays when they had to, too.
Well, you guys have had pretty good luck coming in here to Dad Frazier Stadium, and 28-0 win. Kind of similar to last year's football game when you guys came in here and won that game as well.
Yeah, well, we didn't know what we were going to get out of our kids tonight. We're very fortunate. We're happy with the win, and it's nice. You know, I guess we like playing here. But, you know, I thought our assistants did a great job, the coaching staff, preparing our kids to play this week, and we played some pretty good football, and that was one of our better games.
All right, congratulations, Coach. We're looking forward to find out who you play on Tuesday in the first round of the WIA playoffs. Well, you've heard from head coach Ken Golomsky, trying to spit that one out somehow. 28-0 win here over De Pere at Dad Frazier Field. Chris, back to you.
All righty, Matty, thank you. We're going to take one quick timeout. We'll recap it statistically when we return here on the Hardee's High School Football Showdown.
No boundaries, no problem. Ford has an SUV for any lifestyle. And now's the perfect time to get the SUV that's perfect for you. Get 0% financing on Ford Explorer. That's 0% financing on America's best-selling SUV. Now with a lower, wider stance for a smoother ride. There's even 0% on the best-selling Ford Expedition with a double 5-star front crash test rating and #1 in initial quality by J.D. Power. If you want to go anywhere, there's only one place to start. Visit your Packerland Ford store today.
Get the maximum in protection for your truck with Ultimate Linings from Brundage Auto Body in Neenah. This spray-on liner fits any contour, and its textured surface reduces its load slippage. There's no better liner and no better Ultimate Lining dealer than Brundage Auto Body. Use your truck the way it's meant to be used. Don't worry about rust, corrosion, scratches, or maintenance. Ultimate Linings will not rot, split, or crack, and they're repairable in case of an accident. Get your Ultimate Lining at Brundage Auto Body, next to Ryder Truck Rental on Green Bay Road, Neenah.
We love our new apartment, but with all the moving expenses, we can't afford to pay our utility deposit.
You know, we had the same problem, but we took our stereo into Mr. Money USA, and they loaned us the money that we needed.
If you're short of cash, remember Mr. Money USA. Bring in something you already have in your home and get the cash you need with no waiting or hassles. Pay off the loan and get your item back. It's that easy at Mr. Money USA. Come see us today.
Need a car? Need car credit? Then hurry to Grand Chute Auto, where bad credit or no credit are no problem. Choose from a large selection of clean and inspected cars, trucks, and vans, all with low weekly payments. Every vehicle includes a 12-month, 12,000-mile extended engine and transmission warranty. No money down and low 9.9% APR programs also available. At Grand Chute Auto, credit problems are no problem. On-the-spot approval, on-the-spot delivery. Come to Grand Chute Auto, 300 North Lindale, Appleton.
A victorious Ashwaubenon Jaguars tonight, 28-0 over the De Pere Redbirds. They are co-conference champions in the Bay Conference with the Bayport Pirates. What an impressive offensive display tonight by the Ashwaubenon Jaguars. In fact, it's the most impressive offensive display that we have seen thus far this season on the Hardee's High School Football Showdown. 425 total yards of offense, really propelled by Alex, the quarterback, 10-17, 148 yards with a touchdown, 198 for De Pere, passing yards, 148 we just talked about by Brad Alexton, 277 total yards of rushing offense, very impressive to 131 for De Pere, 17 first downs, 2 turnovers apiece for each team, 3 sacks